Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we have voice actress and musician, Michaela Jill Murphy.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't know that.
Yeah. They do now.
They do. They do now. Michaela, we met at the National Association of Music Merchandisers,
Yes, we did.
which no one calls it that. It's
No.
pretty much just called NAM.
Yeah.
Although I did try to explain to somebody that I was going to NAM, and then they wanted to know when I was coming back, thought I was like going overseas
like
and
abroad.
all this.
Yeah, it became very confusing. And then it's like, what year are we in? Yeah, it's, yeah.
It was a little bit much, but yeah, no, we our mutual friend Chris Bill, it was like he's such a social flower, and it's insane.
He knows so many different human beings. It's great.
It is true. It is true. Actually, when we walked into the room, the first thing we did, we walked in, and I looked over, and I was like, I feel like I know that person. He's like, oh, do you want to meet her? And I'm like, no.
You're like, I'm good.
I'm like, it's okay.
I'm fine.
But yeah, and then sure enough, Chris doing the Chris thing just brings people together, and did that. And then we ended up spending like a couple days together and made a great friendship.
Yeah.
Sweet. But I did find something. And before we get into this little small interview here that I've got, I did find something that made me laugh a little bit that was that's how I knew this person. Because as we were talking more and more, I was like, I do know of you. I know like what you do a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me because we talked about the whole singing on the stairs things.
Sure.
Now that we're friends, I've decided to make you my new project.
So you don't just have one Instagram profile. You have a second one.
I do.
Which is what? Oh, got it. Where I found a message
Oh, gosh.
from me
Oh, gosh.
to you that said, Hey, Michaela, Hey, Michaela, I'd like to toss my name in the ring for working on music with you. I have a few studios between LA and OC that I work with, and my home studio is down in Mission Viejo. Would love the opportunity to talk more about it. Thanks for reading this and keep doing what you're doing.
Wow. Okay, which one was this sent to? Because I have multiple accounts.
Mickey.
Oh, the Mickey
Yeah.
JPG. That's the more recent, like, just brain dumpy romantic story sharing, whatever.
Right.
Notes app, screenshot shares.
Which I think that that's what I had saw first, and where I first was like, okay, this person does stuff, but then
There you go.
somewhere in this, like there was a song somewhere in that, and I was like, wow, she's actually got talent.
Well,
and
thanks.
so I thought it was kind of
say?
funny where this all kind of went full circle, that
That's
here
so
we are.
funny.
Now we're sitting here doing something.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. On that account, I literally only follow my friends from like high school and college and just life who are actually close to me. And then I don't read any DMs on that account. I read DMs on my professional account because sometimes people, whatever. But like that's the one where it's just me and then I don't open anything. So I'm so sorry.
Don't be.
I missed it. But it worked out
Don't be. It
perfectly.
still
And
worked
here
out.
we are.
For sure. This is definitely like a, how could you?
How could
This
I?
is so mean. I
That's what this setup is actually for right
Yeah,
now.
it was actually
I'm
just to call
be
you out on
scolded.
how you just totally never read my Instagram message. I need to stop smacking my mic.
Yeah, you're punching yourself in
I
the chest
am.
there.
I do that, apparently. So this very carefully fabricated list of questions.
This is a quiz.
Okay?
I'm prepared.
Your agent told me that nothing was off limits. So the very first question is, do you know what we're doing today?
I think so. I think we're going to just write a whole song in a couple hours and see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
Great.
exactly what we're doing today.
Yeah, write a song with us in 2 hours.
It's what we're going to do. It's what we're doing. It's what this is.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question number 2. Are you aware that you are a singer?
Yes.
Tell me, when did you first become aware that you were a singer?
When I was about 3.5 or 4 years old, I was humming along to things before I was speaking them out loud and saying
Really?
full words. So I would hum along to songs and I started just singing things more than speaking things. And it's been kind of that way ever since. And then it locked in pretty quickly after when I started listening to Phantom of the Opera on cassette tape.
As one does.
And Cats, the original West End cast on VHS.
Did you ever
and
fabricate
Selena.
like a tail
Oh,
for
I had
yourself?
tail. I
Okay.
had tail and ears.
Okay.
Many hours, days around the house. And Selena, not Gomez, Selena, one of her CDs with Dreamin' of You Tonight. That was on repeat all the time. So just, yeah, a lot of Christina Aguilera and Britney came soon after, and I just have always loved singing. Yeah.
So your life has been filled with music.
Lots of music, all the time, constant.
That's rad. Actually, you just kind of answered that question, which was when did music first come into your life?
Yeah, very immediately.
Yeah, sounds like it. 'Cause I hear you were singing before you were talking.
3 a.m. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. in years. Yeah, three years old. We're going to start just referring to my age. It's 31 hours. Yeah. On this earth.
It's like new mothers when they're like, oh, my baby's like 24 months.
You're like, so they're 2 years.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my baby's 32 months.
So you are a voice actress, which
Yes.
we don't need to really go into because there's countless interviews out there already.
There are.
That answer a lot of questions.
Many.
What is it that you think music can speak to an audience about that maybe is different than what you do with your voice acting?
Ooh, so many different things there. And I mean, so many similar, so many different. Some people really, really resonate with just different mediums, and I think that's a huge factor. Some people really resonate with live action films versus animation versus anime, which is very different than animation, versus music versus reading. Like every genre kind of holds a different delivery. I think in music there is more freedom away from a plot. I think when we watch a story being told, we really need to know where the characters are going, what the purpose of the line is, what the purpose of any scene is. In music, yes, we care about the lyrics and the direction of the story, but the freedom of the storyteller is a bit more broad,
Sure.
I believe. You can start from a more open place, general place, specific place, and then it can change from song to song. You know, it's nice if an album has kind of a through line, a concept. Sure, that can be interesting, but when you listen to an album, you don't start being like, all right, I need to know what the story is and I'm going to follow these characters. You kind of let it wash over you a bit more. And I think perhaps because of that, every listener can take away a different version of their own kind of reality of the song. Whereas when you're watching something that's more curated and there's set characters and, you know, each scene is a minute and a half, whatever,
Right.
I think the viewers might experience more of a similar, I guess, similar show, whatever. And so there's more similar community, I feel like, when watching something as opposed to listening to something.
Yeah.
But both serve obviously wonderful purposes, but yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like that. I think there's only a few standout cases that I can think of where like an album really is like a concept album that like follows like a story like that.
Which is cool, and I'd like to maybe do. We'll see.
Right? Just every like 2-hour session just ends up being like one story.
Yeah.
It's just we took like half a minute out of the okay.
Why not?
What musicians or artists motivate you?
All of them. No, that's a lie. Not all of them, actually. Some
Motivate
of
me
them.
to do good things, motivate me to do things I don't want to do.
Motivate me for violence. No, I'm just kidding. I really, really love Caroline Polachek. She's my favorite artist. I just admire her as a person and how she moves through the industry and creates her own art and performs. I feel like she just does it her way and not to show off in that and be like, I'm doing it my way, but just she's like, this is how I want to do things. I sometimes do this on social media, sometimes have this on Discord, sometimes not. I don't know if she's signed to a particularly large label. I think she's very independent. She records a lot of stuff on her own or with producer friends, and you can kind of feel that in everything she releases. It's very much her. There's not a lot of people on those tracks in the song credits. It's a lot of Caroline, and I like Caroline's brain. I like hearing it. There's a mix of just exploring her full range. I feel like in pop and rock and everything, people kind of stay in a certain range that people are used to hearing from them, and she plays with a lot of range flipping and goes up really high and kind of has a more operatic range that she plays with a lot, and also does a lot of vocal fry. There's lots of variation, and I think life has lots of variation, and so when I listen to her, I'm just kind of like, yeah, all these things are happening at the same time.
This is actually
makes
relatable.
sense to me. I like her storytelling and her lyrics, and I feel like I'm getting a snippet of just how she feels through life, which is really cool. So she's my favorite, but I do love pop music. I do love pop music.
You're a pop girly.
I love the popular stuff. Who doesn't love the pop? That's why it's popular. I know that some of it is fed to us, and you know things can't always be force-fed, but sometimes they are just also well written. Shout out Dan Nigro, Amy Allen, y'all are freaking great. Max Martin, Ryan Tedder, everybody's freaking so talented. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know, Harry Styles, Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, even just like classic rock stuff from the 80s, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Pat Benatar, 90s stuff from 2010, Paramore, Third Eye Blind, whatever. Just like just good music is good, And if the artist is really, really present in the making of it, I feel like it'll resonate with somebody, and then that's what makes it good. So
I would call that like hairbrush anthems. Anything that you just
yes, hairbrush anthems.
Yeah.
There was what is it? Pour some sugar or sugar, whatever.
Yeah, Def Leppard.
Yeah, play it on the radio yesterday. I play the radio in the car a lot these days because I feel like I get tired of my own Spotify picks, and I'm like, you know what? What's on the radio today? And just go to alts, rock, whatever, and Coast 103.5, whatever, and just see what's playing. And they had Pour Some Sugar, and I jammed the frick out to that like crazy. And I was like, that's a good song. I'm gonna infuse some of that. There needs to be more like breathing. Caroline Polachek does a lot of that too. A lot of just breath stuff and kind of the like that stuff that we're missing because everything's so clean these days.
Yes.
Unless it's very like pointed, like we keep the laugh from the end of the session at the end where she just goes, we're not using that. It's still so clean.
Right.
There's none of the like messy like things as much, I feel like.
Well,
so.
I think that really comes out with everything being so digital nowadays that everybody wants you to clean all that up before you submit it.
Analog. Give me a guitar
feel, right?
in a studio, have somebody on the frickin' drums. We can layer the drums. We could even add in Pro Tools, whatever. We can add a digital layer. But like somebody needs to be playing the drums. Somebody needs to be playing the piano. Somebody needs to be playing the guitar.
We want something in there.
It has to be real.
A human element to it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and maybe that's just because... I don't know. I just like the sound of it better. I was about to say maybe it's just because I'm old school or slightly old. I'm not like too old, but I'm like a little bit. I'm very cuspy. But the digital stuff, they're like, oh, you can do it from your bedroom. And I'm like, yeah, and it sounds empty.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't sound the same to me.
It does.
But that's just me.
Well, as a producer, I would just agree with you. I think that you have an ear for that, and you're right.
Yeah, it just sounds empty.
I think there's a lot of warmth that comes from that analog that is missing nowadays.
Yes, because even I went to like a little talkback session with... oh my gosh, with Ryan Tedder and Ed Sheeran and Blake, I always messed up his last name.
Lively.
No. Great music producer.
Shelton.
Plotskin. He's helped with Royal Otis's most recent album and helps with some Ed Sheeran stuff. I don't remember. Anyway, they did a talk back about their song for F1, and we listened to it, and it just sounds like, great produced, whatever, but they break it down, and, John Mayer's on guitar, and then oh my gosh, I forget who they had on drums. Great drummer from like an iconic band, and I'm just totally blanking right now. But like we'll broke down.
Add it right here.
Yeah, right. Insert, and then they just played that and each of their things separately, and it's so full, it's so rich, and it's just single guitar, single drum line, whatever, and then they just fill on top of it, and I'm like, that is so much more full than if they just had a basic thing. Like, yeah. So then I was like, yeah, see. They know. They're not cutting corners. No. They're like, hey, John Mayer, can you come play on this? Because we need a really good guitar. Yeah. And you're a really good guitar player.
Right.
Here you go. That's the way I want to do things.
Wonderful. I love that. Have you ever pursued formal vocal training for singing?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done a lot of musical theater, and I used to sing with like a traveling like kids group to like stay in school and like do parades and things like that. And so I've been taking vocal lessons.
Was that the message? Was stay in school, do parades?
No, for kids. Did you hear me correctly?
Wait. No.
I was like, stay in school, like for kids.
Got it.
And don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, stay in school. That was like the whole thing of like the kids singing group. And that, I started that when I was like, 6 or 7, but I started musical theater when I was 5. And so I started taking vocal lessons probably around then. Attempted to take some guitar and violin and piano lessons, and they did not last long because took too much time, and who has time for that? At the time, I did not. So we definitely did a lot of the vocal training though. Did a cappella in high school, lots of choir through high school.
Well, I think I saw that you also did musical theater in college as well.
I was about to say more musical theater in high school and college as well. Took some vocal lessons just on campus with guest, teachers, guest people from Broadway, composers to music directors, and then, had some vocal lessons when I was in New York and auditioning for Broadway stuff. And I've got a couple of lovely music humans here in LA, who I'll kind of ping between, just to boost things. So I've done some opera stuff. I've done some just getting comfortable with like a high belt, because finding that balance between pushing your volume and like pushing the sound out versus letting it just, like open your mouth more. A simple concept, but hard to execute sometimes when you're used to holding your mouth a certain way when you sing. So yeah, there's been so much training, but I haven't gone to like a conservatory where I've done it like every day for, 3 years straight. But I've been singing, consistently with guidance since I was about 5 years old.
Very cool.
Some breaks here and there depending on what life did, but yeah, formal training for sure.
That is fantastic. That's a lot of stuff I did not know.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, there is not a lot about your music upbringing out there on the internet to try to find.
Not at all.
So these aren't curated questions of like, this would be a good interview. These are actually questions that I was left wanting to know that I could not find.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. There's not a lot online.
This one, you would have to basically follow your stories to know. But you recently did a songwriting session, like an educational thing.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Which one?
I remember seeing that you met with a gal after NAMM.
Yes, that one. Okay, great. I was about to say a couple of things have happened since, so I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. It was good. It was fine. It was definitely. I'm still getting over the bits of nerves when you go into a session with somebody new, especially new when you like don't have any necessarily pre-existing ideas. It's not like, hey, I'm reaching out to you because I have this song idea and we are going to finish it or work on it, whatever. Right. It's just
what am I doing?
Meeting up and then going from there, and that was more scary than even in just the course of a month. It's like a lot less scary now, because creativity is never wrong.
Right.
Like it might not be your favorite thing that day, but there's nothing wrong about it. And I think there was a big fear of doing things wrong or not being right or not being good or whatever growing up. Probably as an actor kid. Also just my family was always like, yay, good grades, gold star for you. And so it was like, if you didn't get a gold star, you didn't get the affirmation. Right. So it was good. I think my brain wasn't in a great space for creating like a lot of lyrics in the moment. I kind of had like a roughish idea and I kind of just went with like a feeling that I had that day. And she was great on like just hopping onto the piano. And it's like something up here. And I was like, that feels a little too like minor. It feels a little too dark or it feels a little too bright. And so like just communicating, like learning what I'm supposed to say. Cause I would just
like industry terms that I totally know.
Yeah. Especially cause I definitely am insecure about not being able to play an instrument. And I wish that I could, but I can't. And that's a major reason why I have not taken music seriously, because I just feel kind of like a fraud and like I'm imposter syndrome of just like I can't contribute with like a physical instrument playing it. And then I'm over here being like, all of the recordings should have live music and I can't do it. And so I just feel a bit like a hypocrite. But you know, one thing from just business and life that I have learned is that you have to play to your strengths, and perhaps playing the guitar is not my strength right now. I would like to get the basics down more pat so that I can actually communicate in like chord terms and understand progressions a little bit more, just like on paper. But my strengths are very much performance, just general industry business knowledge, choreography, lyricism and general melody, and like, I don't know, the vibe.
Yeah.
Just feeling when something is like, sounds like 6 other songs that I've already heard, or if it actually feels like me or feels like that person. And when I'm listening to somebody's album, being like, oh, like this song is like really, really, this sounds like them. And like these other 2 could probably be performed by somebody else and it'd be fine. So those are my strengths. And then I just need help with the other stuff. And so that's been a big thing of this year, like asking for help. So the songwriting session with her was great because I was like, I need your help. I would love if you could just hop on the piano and start noodling around and we can kind of find it and be like, yeah, something in that kind of vein, and let's like maybe up the tempo a little bit and just play around. So it went well. It's like a fine song. I have not finished the lyrics yet. She texted me the other day. She was like, hey, have you had a chance to like look? And I was like, honestly, I have not.
Yep.
Because I'm about to go out of town for a long time and I want to do a lot of writing while I'm out of town.
Yeah.
And just take care of just there's a lot of logistical life stuff. It's annoying how life gets in the way. Yeah, it's a lot. You do really have to be like well off to pursue the arts, or just really okay. low spending, low bar
yeah.
of just output of money or anything on anything else.
Yeah.
Because it just takes so much freaking time and energy, and I'm trying to like juggle 3 other lives at the same time, and I always feel a little bit flaky, and it's frustrating because I'm sure people are like, oh, like, yeah, she's like interested in music. I'm like, yeah, I'm also interested in making sure I have enough. No, not really. I'm interested in setting up income so that I don't have to worry about it.
That's and so residual.
Everything that I'm doing, and the residuals don't exist anymore. So I have to go do something else. In order to make that happen, I have to do some business things. And so it is both. I would love if I had millionaire parents. I don't. So I have to create the back end so that I then do have time to not think about it, not worry about it, sit in a studio multiple days a week and not be worried about it, spend money on an EP, spend money on instruments, whatever, to make that all happen. Because I kind of, the label thing's not going to work. I'm not young enough. I'm not viral enough. That's all what all of the record labels are kind of focused on right now, is youth, a lot of followers, and how much they can potentially like maximize from your career. And I'm not going to be picked for that.
Right.
I don't fit into any of their slots enough.
Demographics, yeah.
So nor do I really want to, because then the label owns a lot of your decision making, and that gets in the way of the creative process, which is why Caroline Polachek is mostly independent. Yeah. I have to work a lot, and I think people don't know actually how expensive a creative's lifestyle is, and that if you, even if like a musician makes $1 million a year, that's not a little amount by any means, of course not, but that goes very, very fast.
And everything's just going right back into everything.
It's not like $1 million net. It's it's $1 million.
No.
That's getting
what we earned.
repurposed.
It's not what we took home.
Correct.
Right.
There's a lot. You need a lot of capital, and so I'm building some capital on the back end. But I'm very, very much serious about singing and performing in music, because it's kind of the thing that's just kept me alive, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I like a lot of other things, but music,
it's purpose.
Music saves.
Music does save. Mm-hmm. Where are we at here? Almost done. Oh, here's where the actual like real questions came in.
Okay.
I really appreciate how much depth in your answers that you have. This is not a question. I'm actually talking to you. I expected those like earlier questions to be very just like quick, and then into the thing.
I yap a lot. That's why I have to write an album, because I have too many words.
All right. So I am going to read from this. This is so not professional, but you know what? This is a music channel, so we're going to go with it anyways.
Let's do it.
When thinking about your first album, is this going to be a production story, or do you have a message from within that you want to actually put out there? Which we kind of did touch. I'm going to add on to it. We did kind of touch on this a little bit about the idea of doing like a concept album versus, do I just have different songs that kind of all speak to something?
Yeah.
Like, in what you foresee for yourself, what direction would you like to start?
That's, I think, the hardest and weirdest part of this process, is because I'm not really sure. I think I know, and then as soon as I start things, they either happen faster or take longer or completely change paths. Mm-hmm. And I'm not really sure what my full sound is yet, which is what all of these songwriting sessions are for, is because I kind of think a little poppy, but there's a little bit of a country in there, and then there's kind of random just like rock where it's just kind of gritty and loud, and it's all kind of swirling around. And so I feel like it will be helpful to have that a little bit more solidified, and then knowing what like the story or the vibe would be. I do know that like my base level this is, maybe the starting place for a lot of people, but the base reason why, like, finally this year, I guess I just, like, got over myself enough and got over, like, what people would think and people's judgment and me feeling insecure and whatever, which is all just ego-based stuff. Like, you caring about what other people think is just your ego getting a little hurt. Is I finally just got angry. I got too angry.
Oh, no.
I got too angry and too hurt, and I just could not handle it anymore. And so I was like, I just don't give a shit. I
need an outlet.
I literally felt like I was just I'm drowning in keeping so much of this like in my bloodstream and just in my head and in my notes app, and I feel crazy. And and I know
welcome to the party.
Yeah. In order to start, you have to go through the learning curve of it, like being like fine, or like you almost don't have your footing, like Role Model's recent album is like so great, but like his first songs were still him, but it was definitely just like, oh, like this guy like kind of singing these pop songs, like play guitar, whatever. And then this last album, it was like, oh, there's Tucker. Like that's who you are. And so that first album, like learning curve, that first EP,
getting your footing.
I hate the getting the footing, but it's necessary for literally becoming good at anything, and it's so just an ego thing. It's like you just have to get over it. But yeah, I just got angry. I got too angry, too tired, too hurt, and just frustrated. And I think a lot of the voice acting stuff that I've done, a lot of the characters are very loud, opinionated, independent, and, you know, pretty tough. And especially my main character that I'm known for is definitely about like breaking the rules, making her own way, carrying her own weight, and definitely like standing on business. Like she talks a big game and then she delivers even more. And so I think a lot of her energy I try to use in my moments where I'm not perhaps as strong. And that's probably going to be a lot of the energy of just whatever I'm making first. It's a lot of people that I have things I want to say to, but like we are not in contact really anymore at that level. There's a lot of things that have happened that are really frustrating that I just would like to get off of my chest.
Yeah.
And I just want to do it like with really good music.
Yeah.
Like I love a good breakdown too. It's not all going to be like super Gracie Abrams-y lyric heavy necessarily either. Just a good guitar riff can sometimes like let the emotion out more than screaming into a pillow. So
both at the same time.
Both at the same time
is pretty good.
Pretty good. So I don't know is really the short answer.
All right, so that's what we got to discover. That's going to be fun. Very cool. This is my longest question.
Oh dear, okay. And I've been talking so much. Okay.
You have an incredibly diverse career, spanning from voice acting to stage plays to student to Yale graduate, which, by the way, freaking amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no, I went to community college, so
You probably learned very similar things to the classes that I was in.
I did not finish.
Okay,
so.
well, maybe, but in the classes you did take. Okay, keep going.
Clearly you have the drive to accomplish anything that you set out for. What strengths have you developed that we can expect to see applied in your music?
Definitely the stubbornness to ask for what I need and what I want. If something doesn't feel right, I'm getting better at not immediately pushing back and like taking a second to process, because sometimes like I change my mind. Sometimes it's like maybe I don't like it to start with, but then I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of see the vision. But I think
communicating that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come in with more experience than I have, right? So it's kind of like, oh, I should listen to them. But
not losing your vision along the way.
Don't discount your own intuition. Also, if everybody's just that great, then how come every single thing they have done isn't super popular? It's not.
Very much.
It's very much some things and some things not. So I think really, really trusting my gut.
Yeah.
That is a huge thing. My gut is usually right pretty immediately. And whether or not I choose to listen to it right then is the other part of that. But that is a huge, huge thing. And so tenacity to just keep going. I think my mom and I are very scrappy. We just keep freaking going. And I mean, Kristen Bell has talked about this too. She just kept showing up. She kept calling directors, you keep calling screenwriters, call producers, say, hey, we worked on this. What else are you working on? What are you getting? Hey, do you wanna grab dinner? Oh, you have that thing coming up. We should talk about it. What else you got going on? She just was relentless. She was like, I just like wore people down almost. And now she's talented enough, right? She's not gonna walk in and not be talented enough. But it's a balance of kind of just persistence, talent, and timing. And if you have a little bit of all three of those and you're putting them all together all the time, at some point your space of where you're gonna belong, you'll find it. But you know, if you're not talented enough, the other two might get a little tricky, right? Like I'm not Adele. I'm not. I don't have that kind of broad sound walking into a room where you hand me a microphone and
you
like
just command the room.
Right. Like she has a resonance that is really crazy. So like my voice, it doesn't sound exactly like that. That's fine. However, I very much can sing, so there is room for that to exist somewhere. And then, just the persistence. Gotta keep going if you want it. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, that's also the trial, because there's lots of attractive things about everything. It's like, oh, I want to try this. I know this seems fun. it's fun, yeah, because you better think it's fun for your whole life, because it's going to take.
Because it's work.
It's going to take your whole life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and then timing,
Definitely.
and being ready for the timing. You just never know what's going to pop up, and I always find it interesting when I talk to producers or writers that like. Perhaps they're guarded because people want things from them all the time, which I understand. Yeah. But you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know who's just holding the door. And you never know who's just holding the door, fixing a guitar strap, fixing a whatever. They might own the studio.
Walking into a room to get coffee and seeing somebody sitting at a table.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and when they're talking to me too, I'm like, I could be a top like Grammy-nominated artist, and you're kind of brushing me off right now. Yeah. And I'm not saying you go in just being like, oh, I'm the best. No, but like I take note of like how people treat me, because if you're treating me like that when like you don't know who I am, I don't know if I want to work with you.
True. It's very true.
You don't have to let everybody in and give them all your secrets, but like everybody matters. And whenever I look at like a tour with like Zara Larsson or Taylor Swift level, love her, hate her, she's a great businesswoman, and she tries to keep track of all of her people. Yeah. She, like, you know, the stories came out of her tipping her, like, truck drivers, like, an extra 100K, 150K, and people, oh, well, she has more than that. Okay, well, a lot of other artists don't even do that. Right. So there's attention to just, like, you guys are taking care of me. I want to try to take care of you. We are making this all happen together, and we could not do it without this one person. And so this one person needs to be treated the same as Taylor Swift. Sure. Everybody's a part of it. And so if we're at an event and I'm just nothing to you, that kind of makes me nervous. I'm like, I don't know if you're going to be a good producer. I don't think you're going to be a good editor. I don't want to work with you because, you know, we'll have somebody who's running and grabbing our coffees, and they'll be Bon Jovi's niece or something. And then you're just going to
chuck the coffee at her because it's the wrong order.
Right. And so it's like, it just all matters. We're all here for this version of Lifetime. We're making art. We're trying to make a living and make art, and everybody matters along the way. And I think I have to keep that in mind too. I can get frustrated, I can get snippy, I can have bad days, absolutely. But it's also my job to like be nice to everybody along the way, because it is entertainment, especially as talent. Yeah, that's a goal of mine too.
At the same time, you're also human. All of us are human as a core.
Sure. I do think though that there is some level of like, you got to keep some of your human at home.
Oh, for sure.
And not let it spill out onto other people.
I call out the door. Yeah. You leave everything at the door when you walk in, and you can pick it back up on the way out.
Yeah. But, and if something's wrong, then just take a step back completely. Like, if you really need a second, just don't try to go be with other people, which I've run into sometimes with the convention stuff. I go to a lot of anime conventions as a guest, and you talk to hundreds of people every day, and then the next day, and then the next day for 8 hours, and sometimes it's like all of my like, hi, is gone, and I'm just empty. And so I'm like, no one talk to me, because if you do, I might snap at you, so don't talk to me. Like, don't do it. I have my med empty.
You need like a green light, red light.
Literally. I'm like, I don't have it in me. Anyway, that was a very long answer, but.
It's okay. It's only like 2 more.
Yeah. Oh, there's 2 more? I thought you were saying it was
so that was the longest one.
Okay. I thought that was the last one. My bad.
It's okay. I'm going to skip one.
Okay.
All right, final question.
Is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Great.
Is this the era of Michaela Jill Murphy making her mark on the music industry?
I mean, yes. That seems like an obvious question. Okay.
It was.
Hell yeah,
remember
brother.
I said there was only a few like actual questions in there? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it marks the beginning. I think that I will be signing myself up for a journey of many years. I like to think things can happen quickly, and while collaborations could happen quickly, I think the development of a career and like a persona in music takes time, and you have to find your audience somewhat organically. Things can be marketed, of course, but that's going to just take time, and people who want to work with you also have to know that you're just not going to disappear and like not show up to things. So I think a solid 2-3 year journey of like getting things started, solidifying who I am as an artist, and
definitely finding who you are along the way too.
Absolutely.
Something you said earlier that was really something I wanted to come back to is you were talking about what you didn't have and what you did have, and your ability to not play an instrument, but having knowledge not only as a brand and how to stand up for yourself as an artist and as a businesswoman, this is the stuff that like people never learn and who they're dependent on. You can find a translator to work with you with these instruments, and as you're sitting there giving like a melody as you're humming it and it translating to something. So I think this is going to be really fun. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to basically sit with you. We're going to start from scratch. I'm going to kind of pick around your brain a little bit, and we're going to see what comes out of it.
Great.
And we're going to try to write and record all within 2 hours.
2 hours, baby. Timer starts now.
That works. That's good.